Hi Capricorn. So today we'll be using our Mystic Mondays Tarot deck since it's your season. And we're just going to get right into it. We'll do a quick recap over last season. What we were working on was really having that conversation with our friends, excuse me, significant other, whoever it was that we were just not being completely honest with about our desires, what it is that we want to in our relationships with them. It doesn't have to be romantic, but I did get the feeling that for some of you, a good majority of you, it was a romantic thing. But we were also learning how to mind our tone when we were talking to people, which is very important for Capricorn because sometimes we have that condescending tone, much like Virgo, without really noticing it, and it comes out when we're frustrated. It comes out when we feel like what the other person is doing just doesn't make sense, and it's like, why are you being stupid, right? We had to figure out how to tell our partners that we wanted more without making it feel like we were taking for granted what we already had with them, which can be very difficult for Capricorn considering that you guys are very ambitious, and that's not something that people always understand about you guys, right? That your ambitions does not mean that you don't value what it is that you have, but that you see an opportunity to always be better, do better, and get better, because that's what you deserve. And I don't feel like you were dealing with somebody that didn't understand that about you and didn't respect that about you, but that it was just very, very, very important that we made sure that we were communicating that to the other person the right way, because they might have been way more sensitive than we are about things like that. But that was last season, and I'm looking forward to see what is going on with you guys now. It could be a completely different situation. It could be the same thing. We're gonna flip the cards and see. Pull a few more. Okay, let me show you these cards. Bottom of the deck is the Five of Swords in reverse. So let's see. Okay, so we have the Queen of Pentacles, the Queen of Cups, the Seven of Pentacles in reverse, the Knight of Swords, the Three of Swords, the Fool, the Five of Cups, the Five of Swords in reverse, as well as the Seven of Swords in reverse, the Three of Cups, the Princess of Pentacles, and the Six of Cups. Okay? Okay, Capricorn. First, let me apologize for my voice. I am a little like getting over a cold, but we're gonna power through, okay? So, right now, you guys were the first card to come out. You guys are here. This represents somebody that is very practical and grounded, knows what it is that they want, has clear objectives, and has laid groundwork to achieve, those things that we were just talking about. But on top of that, you guys are also feeling some type of way, and it doesn't necessarily have to be negative. It could just be that you guys are feeling something that needs to be still put out there. I don't think that you guys actually had the conversation you needed to have last season. And if you did, I don't feel like you put in the emotional aspect of it that you really needed to. And I know that that is difficult for Capricorn, and perhaps I should have been a little bit more clear about this. This is not something that you can just brush off. Okay, this is not something that is going to go away with time. What actually happens when we do not take care of situations when they are presented to us is that we then see ourselves followed by conflict, because that's the overall theme that we have with ourselves when we're not dealing with shit, right? I think that a lot of you guys are secretly feeling like you are investing your time into something that's not going to help you in the long run. Perhaps it's you feel like your relationship is moving too fast and you don't really feel comfortable moving in with somebody or doing something else. Maybe you guys are in a job or something like that that you just are not comfortable in. I could see this going both ways. I could see it being romantic. I could see it also being a part of something work related or something like that, because it could go both ways, honestly, with Capricorn. This first card represents the balance between home and every other aspect, right? Home life, work life, love life, right? So if you guys are feeling like you're not having that balance right now because all of these emotions from that Queen of Cup energy are coming out, that makes complete sense, and that's okay. What's really great about you guys is that you have the ability to be objective when you need to, but sometimes you cut things off too soon when you see or when you're not seeing progress immediately. Nothing comes sudden that's really worth it, right? To Capricorn, at least, because Capricorn likes to put in work. They like to be able to say that they did something, that the work that they put in led to their achievement, not that somebody else gave it to them or that they took the easy way out. Which is why I feel like Capricorn, we really need to go back and fix this conversation that we didn't have, because as much as you guys like to or don't want to admit it, when you feel like your efforts aren't being matched, when you feel like you're not getting what you wanted after putting in so much work, it kind of feels like heartbreak. It kind of feels like the worst feeling that you guys can ever feel, because that's just what you guys are used to. Putting in work, getting shit done, repeat. You know what I mean? So I think that we really need to have the courage to kind of step out of ourselves and be a little bit more honest with how it is that we're feeling. If it's at our job and we feel like we're not getting paid enough for our work, talk about it. If it's in a relationship and we feel like we're being taken for granted, or I feel like for some of you guys, it's because you have been keeping a secret and you haven't been embodying this energy of being honest even when you need to be, which is not really like Capricorn, right? Which is why I'm saying, when you don't deal with things, sometimes we find ourselves getting out of our character or having conflict following us and we don't really understand why. And I think it's because Capricorn, you guys are very much like this, right? Which is pretty much on the surface. But what we really need to do, which is what we need to focus on this season, is diving a little bit deeper into ourselves and seeing, okay, but why am I feeling like this? What are my faults? I already know. It's very easy for earth signs to be like, well, this disappointed me when you did this, and they make a whole list. But it's not always so easy for earth signs to do that with themselves. What did I do wrong in this situation? How could I fix it? What else could I do different, right? So I see that. I think that ultimately we have to learn how to forgive. Some of us right now are seeing the glass half empty instead of glass half full, and are very ready to just terminate all progress and move on to something new. And I don't think that you should do that. I think that we really do need to have a conversation that we have been putting off. Even though you guys might have brought it up a little bit, I don't think you guys really had that talk. And it could have been because the person that you were needing to have that conversation with was just not ready to hear you. But I also feel like you guys have been hiding something. And it could have been something that happened a very long time ago. If you're in a relationship and you were talking to two people at once, when it first started, before you guys were actually official, or maybe somebody from your past has been hitting you up and that's not something that you have been honest about. I do feel like for some of you guys, you have been looking elsewhere because you haven't been satisfied. And it could be completely like mental. It could just be that you're not even talking to that person, but that you're feeling some type of way. I feel like a lot of this is feeling, not necessarily action, but that's still something that you should be able to address. You should still be able to address things like that with your significant other, with whoever it is that is in charge of that aspect of your life. If it's a boss, if it's, like a peer that you're working with on something. I just feel like there's something that we're not mentioning about how we feel about a specific situation. And until we do that, we are going to constantly come off as this kind of like insincere person. somebody that is like working like a robot. And no offense, Capricorn, but robot work only works with work. With relationships, you have to show some more of your tender side, right? Once you guys actually do so and dig deep to actually figure out what it is that you're feeling, what it is that you need to address, the other people will start to see that you're changing. That although you already have the groundwork, you're getting the small things that you've been missing, which is the ability to articulate how it is that you're feeling without feeling yucky. It's something that earth signs really have to get a hold of, right? Being able to explain what it is that we're feeling in a way so that other people can understand and adjust without us being like, yo, this is a problem, fix it, right? Because that's kind of like Capricorn's tone without even realizing it. You've been doing this, I don't like it, fix it. But what about you, Capricorn? What have we been doing? We have to be very, very, very careful on not taking the easy way out and just ending things, moving on to something different. I think that this is really important that we fix what's going on right now, okay? So that's the end of this reading, Capricorn. Yeah, we just have to dig deep. Bye, guys.